Hi there, I'm Chef Lauren Smith, and this is Comfort Food with a Conscience, where we explore how to cook your favorite comfort food recipes, but in such a way that they're not harmful for you and actually healthy and flavorful. Today we're going to be playing around with ice cream. It's summertime, and I think about ice cream in the summer. The only way to make it better is to do an ice cream cookie sandwich. So we're going to make this beautiful dairy-free ice cream with local fresh nectarine and some basil in it to give it a nice pop. And we're going to use these cookies I made earlier. They're gluten-free, skin-healthy cookies. So they have a ton of really good almond butter, golden flax seeds, organic dried blueberries, and mangoes. Imagine that ice cream sandwich between those cookies. It's like good news. It's a really simple recipe. It'll show you how to not be afraid of making your own ice cream. So try this one at home. You guys are really going to like it. So I'm going to make this ice cream like a classic French crème anglaise, except, of course, our own twist on it with the ingredients. What you want to start out with is a nice deep pan, and I have it going on a medium heat. And what's in it is 2 cups worth of a nice organic almond milk and 2 cups worth of organic coconut milk. Make sure you get the kind that's in a can so you get that nice, creamy, thick top that's usually on it. So you just want to whisk them together and get them nicely combined. So we're letting this mix get to a scald, and what that means is you start to see those little tiny bubbles around the rim of the pan. That's a scald, just a tiny soft steam coming off of it. You don't want to boil, especially when we temper this later, otherwise we'll have scrambled eggs. So for the rest of it, just grab yourself a bowl, and I have 5 organic free-range egg yolks. Get as much of it as you can. And then I have a good ½ cup's worth of a really beautiful fair trade palm sugar. Now you can of course use any kind of sweetener you want in this instance. If you wanted to do sugar-free, I would recommend using xylitol crystals. That way you kind of get the same consistency. So your sugar goes in, and this will be like a nice thick mix of egg and sugar. Just kind of want to press out any clumps that you might find, and you'll end up getting this kind of glossy, mapley concoction. To this, I'm going to add about a teaspoon's worth of a nice fair trade vanilla extract. Now, if you wanted to be like legit with this, you could add real vanilla bean. I didn't have any in my pantry, but the extract suffices perfectly well. Okay, so this is nice and mixed. What we're going to do with our coconut and almond milk mixture that's nice and warm, I'm going to whisk in a little bit of it. I'd say about a quarter's worth. And what we're doing is tempering the egg yolk in the milk, because if we poured the egg yolk into it straight away, you run the risk of having it curdle and coagulate. And we want a nice silky smooth ice cream. So let's do a quarter of the mix right in. Put this back on the heat and then mix it up. All right, and then I'm slowly going to whisk this mix back into the pan until it's well incorporated. So what I'm looking for here is that the mix comes up to a la nappe, or basically so that it coats the back of a spoon. If you put your finger through it, that both sides of the sauce would hold their shape. So what I want to do is keep whisking this and waiting for those little scald bubbles to keep going around the edge of the pan. And then I'm going to dip a spoon in it and see if we're on the right consistency. So our mix is just perfect. I'm just going to transfer it into a bowl. And take your time with it, because as you pour it, it releases some of the heat. And we want a lot of the steam to come off before we put it into our ice cream maker. So I'm just going to whisk it here for a couple of minutes and just let it come down to room temperature before we put it into the ice cream machine. My ice cream mix is nice and cooled off. The next step we have to do is put it into our little ice cream machine. This one here cost me only like $30. It was on clearance from one of those fancy kitchen supply stores because it's a discontinued color. So what? So ice cream does not have to be expensive. All you have to do is make sure you put your freezer bowl in the freezer the night before because you want it frozen solid. You can't make ice cream like an hour ahead and try to freeze that in time. Trust me, I've done it before. So get your ice cream mix right on into the bowl, ever so carefully. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is put in my diced up nectarine. Now, I didn't even bother with peeling it because there's so much nutrients in the skin. I just gave it like a rough dice, and this is 2 nectarines worth. So those go right on in. And when you bite into this ice cream, there's going to be like frozen chunks of nectarine. It's awesome. Okay, all of those. And then I'm just going to tear in, I'd say about a teaspoon's worth of fresh basil right on into it so you can have nice rough leaves in there. Don't go too heavy on the basil because it's just kind of an afterthought. You want that like refreshing lift on your palate when you eat it, not basil overload. So we'll get the rest in. And in the summertime, I mean, there's nothing better than using fresh herbs that are in season. They just taste that much better. And I love mixing herbs with dessert. Okay, just a tiny bit more. And then what we have to do is put our little blade right on down there, wiggle it in until it fits, put my lid on, just make sure it's nice and closed. You got to line up the dots, turn it on, in about 30 minutes we'll have ice cream. So my ice cream finished up and I just transferred it into a little metal bowl that I can keep cold in the refrigerator. It has this handy dandy little lid that goes over it so it doesn't get freezer burn. You can do something like that or Tupperware, anything that kind of keeps the air away from it in your freezer. And here I have my beautiful skin healthy cookies. Like I said, they have that really pretty golden flax in them, some dried organic blueberries and mango, and tons of almond butter. So they're super yummy. And just to put them together, I mean, you don't have to be a genius for this one. Just put a cookie upside down, get yourself a nice big scoop of your ice cream. Just like that. Find another cookie to be the top. Smush it down as much as you want. And look at that. That is an ice cream cookie sandwich. So I'm going to finish up the rest of these and show you guys what they look like when they're done. So this is it, our beautiful nectarine basil, dairy-free, homemade ice cream, sandwiched in between those really nice gluten-free, skin-healthy cookies. It's a really simple recipe, and what's great about this, if you learn the fundamentals of an ice cream equation, you can make any kind of flavor you want. But try this one at home because it's super delicious, it's seasonal, it's fresh, and you're gonna love it. So thanks for watching.